What up, what up, what up, New York Giant Nation? It's your boy, Mac the Giants fan, and this is the True Blue Aftermath.
You want to be great, you got to work at it, right?
What is going on, New York Giant Nation? Week 4 in the books for the New York Giants, Monday Night Football, and the same old New York Football Giants in the prime time. Same old pathetic New York Giants in the prime time. Let's get right to it right now. Let's get to the nitty gritty. This offensive line is pathetic, heartless. 5 big ass motherfuckers for no reason. Big for no fucking reason. These motherfuckers are making 7-digit salaries. All millionaires out there. And they playing like they getting paid food stamps. Absolutely pathetic. No more excuses. Seattle had a patchwork offensive line, 2 backup offensive tackles, had a backup on the interior. That's not an excuse for them. They still went out there and did what they had to do. Because they play with some goddamn pride. We got offensive linemen with no heart. It was a damn jailbreak out there. It was a damn jailbreak out there. 11 sacks surrendered to the Seattle Seahawks defense. They're not horrible, a horrible defense, but 11 sacks surrendered to this defense? This defense that has allowed 3 consecutive 300-yard passers prior to this game? And we surrendered 11 sacks to this defense? 2 home games, 18 sacks. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. 2 home games this season, and this offensive line has given up 18 sacks in just the 2 home games. Absolutely pathetic, team. Absolutely pathetic. And you know what? I've defended the quarterback as long as I can defend him. Tonight, that pick 6 down in the red zone, no. I'm done. I'm done watching you make mistakes like that. I am done watching you make mistakes like that. Because, hell, that's one of the few plays the offensive line actually didn't do a bad job. Yet, here we are. You throwing a pick 6 because you're just completely reading the room wrong. Completely reading everything wrong, man. I just don't get it. I don't get it with this offensive line. They have no heart. They have no passion. They have no desire to win their matchups. No desire whatsoever to win their matchups. I've never seen anything like it. Like I said, this Seattle Seahawks offensive line was out there playing with all their backups. All kinds of backups out there. They're not making excuses. They're out there still doing what they got to do with their backup guys out there. But our offensive line can't stop anything. They can't even slow anything down. Like I said, this reminded me of that scene on Any Given Sunday when the guys just didn't want to block for Jamie Foxx. It was just like that. A complete jailbreak. This whole offense, man. This whole offense is broken. And it just needs to be ripped down, man. Anybody else, y'all got some thoughts? Thank y'all for joining the panel. Y'all go ahead and get it off your chest, man.
This is an embarrassment, to say the least, because this team had high hopes, and they're dashed in 3 games. Season is over, folks. It's over. I don't care what anybody says. It is over. It is done. Miami is going to come off an angry loss.
They're going to toss our fucking salad.
Excuse me?
They're going to toss our fucking salad.
Miami is pissed off. They lost to the Bills. They're going to want to put a statement. Guess who's after that? Oh, the Bills, who had 9 sacks against the Commanders. And then the Commanders, who gave everything they had to the Eagles last week. Okay? If you can't block them, if you can't block Seattle, who was the worst defense coming into the league, coming into this game, the worst defense. The only thing that if you did your homework, you knew is they had a lot of pressures They were one of the league leading teams in pressures, and I didn't think I thought that Daniel, would have some opportunities. And listen, man, I'm not going to pile on him. I don't want to hear anything about him anymore. I don't want to hear anything about that guy anymore. Don't talk to me about him. Don't yell at me about him. Don't call me a hater about him. You see it in the results, okay? And then don't compare him to guys like Josh Allen and Justin Herbert. I don't want to hear it. And like Max said, the one thing that pisses me off is we could talk about the offensive line and how bad it is. How come Geno Smith has backups playing? They had the entire line out. They had 3 missing linemen, and then they lost guys in that game. And you know what they did? They found a way. Their offensive coordinator said, you know what? I'm not going to put my guy on an island and do that. And oh, by the way, how about a fight? How about you fight the team within the white lines, not at the end of plays? I mean, where's the heart on this team? Brian Dable disgusted with his quarterback. By the way, quarterback, you can get angry. Throw a helmet. Do something. Get in the guy's face. Get angry. They're letting up on the line. Why are you not getting angry? I don't want to see, he's sitting there keeping his composure. No. This is the game you deserve to yell at somebody. You deserve to be like, yo, man, I'm the leader of this team, and you guys are doing nothing for me. You're doing nothing for me.
10 sacks, bro.
11 sacks.
11 sacks. Man, Daniel Jones is playing terrible. The offensive line is the worst I've ever seen. The running game is... I don't understand why in the first half we actually do pretty decent running the ball, and then we proceed to stop running the ball, and then when we do run the ball in the second half, it doesn't work at all. The receivers don't get open. We paid that money for Darren Waller. We made this trade. We don't target him at all. Daniel Jones.
One target.
Yeah.
One target.
Daniel Jones, listen, bro, I'm not as hard on him as other people because I understand that this is one of the worst offensive lines in NFL history, but nobody with fucking eyeballs can defend that pick six. I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to see the DJ Truthers and the DJ Meat Riders and the Daniel Jones.
Fumble?
I don't want to see the people that call Daniel Jones the fucking Messiah on Twitter come in here and say that there's any way to defend that. There's not. If you're an NFL quarterback, you should not make that fucking throw. I do not care who you are. If Patrick Mahomes threw that pick six, I'm calling him a dumbass too. This isn't just because it's Daniel Jones. This team is ass. I heard people in my chat trying to blame the defense. They only gave up 17 points. What the fuck are we talking about? We're delusional, bro. This is what 10 years of losing does. We are insane.
Rinse and repeat.
Bro, I want to see Brian Dable and Joe Shane tear this offense down and start over, which is what they should have been allowed to do in the first place.
By the way, I don't want to put this tweet up, but I have a tweet. There's 24 quarterbacks coming out next year's draft. Just saying, just throwing that out there for you guys.
That's fine. That's fine. I guess I'll put my thoughts in. Logan's right. Tear the offense down, except for Andrew Thomas. You locked him down, so there's that. Let Barkley walk in free agency.
Please.
And you know what? Like, I can't even get on the fans for expecting 10 wins because when you sign a quarterback for 4 years and you trade for Darren Waller, what message are you sending?
There was people saying Super Bowl, bro. I didn't go that far, but I thought at least 9 wins. And I know the season isn't over yet, but yes, it is.
You bring up a good point. The problem I have is the stupid stigma of rebuilding while competing. When you do that, you don't tear it down and you don't rebuild it. What you're doing is staying stuck in the mud. You've got to be one or the other, right? You made these moves to compete and you're not even competing. You're getting the doors blown off every fucking week. There's no heart on this team. And so now what you need to do is do what you did. Full rebuild mode. Get rid of these guys. You know why these guys lose? Because that's what they are. They're all losers. Okay? You should have brought in your own guys. Leonard Williams, loser. Dexter Lawrence, a loser. All these guys know is losing seasons. Last year was an anomaly. I said it to you guys last year. I said schedule matters. Guess what? Out the gate. We're 1-3 out the gate. And we have 2 big teams coming up right behind us in the AFC who are competing for the Super Bowl. And you know that Miami's going to be pissed off and see this fucking shit show on Monday night where everybody's watching and say, yo, licking their chops right now.
Do you guys mind if I go over a stat line real quick? At home, the Giants this season have been outscored 64-3 with 6 turnovers and 17 sacks given up.
I will say this, and we can talk about the McAdoo years. We can talk about the Shermer and Judge years. I've never seen an offensive line within the first 4 games, gave up as many sacks. Like they gave up what, 8 sacks, 7 sacks week 1. Daniel Jones sacked 10 times tonight. When have
11
you
times.
seen that? When have you? And I'm not defending Daniel Jones because he played like utter garbage tonight. That's why I said strip the old offense, get your own guy in here. I'm done. I'm done with that nonsense. Start selling guys off at the deadline too.
Welcome to the dark side.
Exactly. The truth side too. Start selling Dory Jackson. Great. Okay. Trade him.
He's
to a
on 1 year.
contender.
Good deal.
Whoever's gonna sit here, if you got Barkley, trade him if you want to as well. Trade some of these other guys. I'm finished. Like
Right. There's no point in keeping him. Trade it down. You're going to lose a lot of these guys anyways. And Leonard Williams, he's on it last year. McKinney, he's on his last year. Adoree Jackson, he's on his last year. Go get some for these guys.
But you know what bothers me the most? Bothers me is that we're going to sit here.
That's it.
You got Daniel Jones is going to come out here to this post-game presser or whatever, and he's going to say, oh, yeah, we got to do better. We got to do – I made a lot of mistakes tonight. Yeah, you did, Daniel Jones. You made a lot of mistakes tonight. You played, like you said, like ass. But at the end of the day, man, at some point we got to start calling guys out, man. This offensive line, to me, look –
Zach Wilson.
I've seen a lot of football in my lifetime. A lot of football in my lifetime. And I've never seen an offensive line stink the way this New York Giant offensive line stinks right now. I've never seen anything like it. Never. They can't block anybody. It doesn't matter who we're going against. Miami is not necessarily loaded up front either, but I bet you they're going to pin their ears back and get after it too on Sunday. We already know what Buffalo's got, so I'm already worried about that game a couple weeks down the line. Washington's front seven, we're not going to be able to stop that front seven either. The Raiders, they got Max Crosby out there. He'll feast on this offensive line. Like the Jets defense, come on, man. I'm not seeing another win on this team's schedule based off the way this team is playing right now. And that's just as real as I can get right now. Based off the way this team is playing right now, I'm having a hard time figuring out where the next win comes from. And that's just me being as honest as I can be. That's me being as honest as I can be.
I hope that's sarcasm. I really do.
It doesn't. I don't know.
Listen.
No, I'm sorry, but
look. He had 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles, but all his turnovers led to points. That's the reason. That's what you call a bad game. When your turnovers lead to points. Yes, your defense didn't stop anybody, but you had a fumble that went, and they got 7 on that. You got a pick 6 that's a 97-yard touchdown. We haven't seen a pick 6 like that in how long, right? This guy throws one in the red zone. Your team is coming back. You're trying to mount a comeback. Maybe you score on that drive. Maybe things change. Maybe Seattle fumbles. Maybe they put pressure on themselves. Nope. Pick 6 the other way. Game. Good night, the lights. Good night, the season.
What you guys are on? Be quiet down there, man.
Yeah, I just been listening. You guys made a lot of good points, man. Like I'm just watching the game, right? And I'm like, but why do we even waste time on this team? Why do we wait all off season? We have all this high expectations. I think Big Blue in the Bronx said it perfectly. You know what I'm saying? We bring in Darren Waller. We pay the quarterback. We're thinking, oh, we bring in Hyatt. You know, it's just like we have our draft picks that's gonna somewhat improve this team. You go around the league, you look at every single team, at least with a rookie wide receiver, they're out there at least catching 2 balls a game. You know what I'm saying? They're at least making some kind of play. It's pathetic. We struggle to move the ball 3 yards. You know what I'm saying? Like it's everything. I'm not gonna sit up here and defend Daniel Jones. It's everything.
He threw 2 passes beyond 10 yards tonight, aerial.
Exactly.
2 passes.
If I see one more swing pass, I'm gonna kill myself.
And just like the design, the everything is just is the fundamentals of football. Everything is from the beginning. We don't know how to tackle. We don't play him in no Hoyt. We have no emotion out there. This O-line can't even block to save a life, man. That's the saddest thing about it. I mean, like. We sit up here, and the way I look at it is, I'm not defending Daniel Jones. He had a horrible game, but I mean, like, my God, look, 18 sacks given up at home over the first two home games. That's 4 weeks into the season. I mean, like, up to this
That's
point,
what they give our fans. They're dedicated fans. They get that. They get that kind of product.
And a 10-cent medium soda. Here, let me read you something right here, okay?
Go ahead.
Ryan Dunleavy has a tweet. Evan Neal and Eric Flowers are both top 10 draft picks for the Giants. Here are the comparisons at PFF suggests Flowers is better than Neal at this point in the season. Year 1, Flowers 54.9 overall grade, 58.9 in the run blocking grade, and a 50.5 in the passing grade. How is Evan Neal worse than Eric Flowers? That is terrible to hear. Okay, I don't want to hear that Eric Flowers is Evan Neal's worse than this guy. Okay, and Kayvon Thibodeau finally showed up a little bit, but where's the rest of the defense?
But it's beyond that too. It's like out of 32 NFL teams, the New York Football Giants over the last 6 years of the NFL draft drafted the most offensive lineman player. That's proven. That's facts. Look
I'm
it
sorry
up.
to cut you off, but
We can't get it right. We can't get it right. Go ahead, Logan.
I am literally done with hearing draft an offensive lineman. Fuck the draft. Make a big trade or sign a free agent that's a veteran and is a proven commodity.
That doesn't work either.
I'm done.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking like an all-pro caliber level player because I am done with these rookies. Bro.
No,
But they don't.
No,
They'll go on trees. That is one of the most hardest positions to fill in the National Football League because teams who have it, they don't give them up.
What you do
I'm
is
going to
this.
tell you like this, man. Playing offensive line has a lot to do with just straight up attitude and desire and want to. This team ain't got none of that. None of that. Like I said, I keep saying, Seattle had all those backup offensive linemen out there, had both of their starting tackles out, had one of their guards go down in the middle of the damn game. It was not an excuse. It's about will. You got to go out there and just have that will to want to win your matchup. And our offensive linemen don't have that. They don't have that heart. They don't want to win. It's like just go ahead and kill our quarterback. Go ahead, tee off on him. He's only average anyway, but go ahead and kill him anyway. Like that's what it comes down to.
I don't know.
I've never seen anything like it. Like I said, ever in all my years of watching football, I've never seen a unit as bad as this New York Giant offensive line is right now. Currently,
Hang our hats on the Cardinals win though. That was the greatest comeback in history. Cardinals win.
Participation trophy.
16 quarters of football have been played by the New York Giants this season, and only 2 of those quarters have been worth the goddamn. Two quarters out of 16.
So
Even at this point, real fast. Even at this point, as a fan of SC, like no, I do not want Caleb Williams down near close to this offensive line.
Bro,
not want to ruin that
worry
man's
about it.
career. Like
Alex
no
is right.
quarterback
When you-
out there. I'm not trying to make an excuse for Daniel Jones. This team has a lot of problems, and it all starts with head coaching himself. Like yippee you won head
It
coach of the
starts
year.
with John
Okay,
Mara.
it
Look,
obviously.
Daryl Brown, with all due respect, Daryl Brown, man, I appreciate you coming through. You're very much entitled to your opinion, sir, but I strongly disagree. Strongly have to disagree with you, sir.
And listen,
You
I'm not
just
gonna pat
top
myself.
5 quarterbacks don't make the kind of errors that Daniel Jones made tonight. That pick 6 can't happen in this game at that moment when that can't happen. And top 5 guys don't do that. I'm sorry. They just don't. That was one of the few plays the offensive line actually did provide protection for him. And that's what he does. That was one of the-
You got to capitalize in moments like that. That's why I'm not giving this guy
Robinson.
excuses. You got to capitalize in moments like that. You got to go out there and win a primetime game. Like we can't win a primetime game.
He's fighting with his coach.
We can't. Yeah, he's fighting with his coach. We see that Brian Dable throwing the tablet. It's awful. It's bad, and we have a lot of stuff to fix. It all starts up front, at the very top, like Adam mentioned, in John Mara. And the thing is, Logan is right. Alex is right. You gotta rebuild everything. And even if you look at the defense too, there's a lot of people
Do
on
what
this
the
defense
Detroit
that
Lions
you can
did.
trade. You know what I'm saying? You can, because at the end of the day, like it's awful all around. It is terrible, and it's just hard to watch and finish these football games. And it's reminding me of 2021 all over again. It honestly is. And we thought we had a team. We go out there, we get spanked at Denver, and it's reminding me a lot of that year. But hopefully we somewhat pull it together. But at this point, I don't think we can strip it down. Go ahead, guys.
Listen, they showed a stat with Daniel Jones' stat line, his wins. It was 21, 34, and 1 with a tie, right? Do you know how many touchdowns he had? 62. You know how many turnovers he had? 61. Okay? This is what we're talking about. This is what we invested in. We knew what we got from the jump. Okay, now we've drafted how many linemen? We have a second round pick who goes down, right? We have a fifth round pick who everyone said McKeithen, he ain't the man. There's a reason why he's a fifth round pick. Josh Azudu, I'm sorry, can't cover a nosebleed.
Not his salad talk.
Evan Neal is trash. He's straight up garbage. Okay, he can't do a damn thing. There's guys running around. There's guys still running around him. Every play, there's a guy running around that dude. Okay. They know. And you know what? You know what the defense knows? I was trying to give Daniel Jones the benefit of the doubt this week that the 49ers were wrong. That the 49ers were like, oh, he's we knew it. No. Everybody hears that. Everybody sees that. And when you don't stand up for yourself, this is what I said to somebody the other day. I said, there's a lot of teammates who stand up for Daniel, but Daniel never stands up for himself. And he needs to go to that podium and he needs to stand up there and he says, this is on me. And then he needs to go out there like Sam Howell did and say, I'm going to play better next week. You watch. Because everybody crushed Sam Howell. All that guy did was go to the podium, blame the game on himself, and then had a game the next week.
Listen, I'm not going to be sitting here and say that Dable or Shane should be fired because I don't want to keep recycling coaches after 2 years. But if you don't fire Thomas McGahee or Bobby Johnson tomorrow, you're not serious about winning.
They're not going to do that. They're not.
I agree with what you said. You got to make a statement at some point. A statement has to be made at some point. Let everybody understand that we're not going to tolerate this. We're not going to tolerate this. Well, right now, that's a little less expendable. I mean, than getting rid of one of the O-line coach right now, or Thomas McGahee, who was doing clearly a horrible job with the special teams unit, because that was also an atrocious unit tonight. I mean, right now, as bad as the quarterback is playing, I don't think that's the message you send right now. Is getting rid of him. You got to get rid of one of these coaches because there's a major disconnect right now, right? And it's in Bobby Johnson. I thought he was a great hire when he came in last year, but clearly it's not working out, bro. Whatever he's preaching, it's not working.
Well,
some kind of disconnect here. There's some kind of a disconnect here, and it's like I said, I've seen a lot of O-line play. I've played on the O-line. When I play football, I've never seen anything that stinks like this. It's just, like I said, part of being on the O-line, you just got to have the attitude to know that you want to move people out the way, that you want to protect your quarterback. And it seems like nobody has a desire to do that on this football team. Nobody at all. Even on that first fourth down play we didn't get early in the game, that quarterback sneak. I mean, you brought in extra damn linemen, and they still couldn't get any damn push. They still couldn't get no push. And you had like 7 offensive linemen out there. That is not acceptable. It's not acceptable. You got to have some damn pride at some point in what you're doing. And you got to get the job done.
I blame that head coach.
You got to get the job done. It's not acceptable to just be that. It's one thing to be, okay, we're the backup players. We're not that great. We're going to get beat some of the time. Sure. That's acceptable. That's normal. But every damn play.
These are the
it's not, come on.
games I've witnessed in Giants in a long time. And we had McAdoo, Shermer, and a fucking bunch of other bums out there. And this is the worst. We've been blown out in three out of 4 games. You could argue we were blown out in the Arizona game. You know, if Arizona doesn't throw 3 freaking when they get the ball back and throw 3 pass plays in a row.
Arizona's tanking.
You know, but you know, they got to win against the Cowboys. I mean, they're not a team that's supposed to be on our level, and I don't care about beating Arizona. Those aren't the teams that are going to the playoffs. I don't get happy when Daniel Jones high fives for winning touchdown. I want him to beat a good team, which he hasn't done in his career. There's a reason why you're 0-7 on primetime games. They put you against good teams, and it doesn't happen. We can't make. I don't want to. I know the offensive line and it was terrible, but you got to make plays too. Someone's got to do something. There's got to be a spark here. I don't know if they're not responding to Dable. I'm not calling for anybody's head yet, but there was something I was worried about with Dable. Was the Roses were being too happy. He won Coach of the Year when the guy in Minnesota was better than him record wise. All right, I told people this could be the Jim Fossil era all over again. Right, where you win 1 game, you'll lose 2 in a row, and then maybe you put a veteran team together and go to the Super Bowl. Right now, you need to do something. You can't. There's nobody coming through that door. Whether you put Andrew Thomas out there or not, this offense, you still have 4 other guys who stink. The backups stink. Lemieux stinks. Bredesen stinks. Kurt stinks. Okay,
yeah. Can you send Lemieux out the door too? Just get rid of him tomorrow. Get rid of Shane Lemieux tomorrow. Like, no more of the Shane Lemieux experiment. That dude is absolute. Like, as bad as everybody else is, he's the worst.
If the Giants,
He's the worst.
if the
He
Giants
is absolutely horrible.
lose the next 2 games, you have to have a fire sale. You just say, tear it down. We made a mistake. Let's rebuild this thing from the ground up. And then next year, if you are in the top 10, you draft a quarterback and say, Daniel, you're here to take the mantle, but we're going to move on from you. We're going to honor the agreement for 2 years. The next year, you can be our quarterback, our bridge guy, but get rid of him. Okay? I'm sorry. Get rid of Barkley. Get rid of the entire thing. This reeks of old regime people. Like Leonard Williams hasn't done anything. Dexter Lawrence. This is a game. How is you watch Seattle? You see what Seattle did tonight? Seattle took advantage of a weak O-line. Our vaunted defense did nothing. They got 2 sacks. They should have been up there. It should have been a sack game. It should have been a sack for sack game, but it wasn't. Ojulari, where are you? Bobby, this team. I'll tell you what. Another thing, which is a bad sign. This team is smiling when they're getting their asses kicked, 21-3. They're slapping hands and high fiving plays at the end of the game. That, to me, if I were on that sideline when I played and I saw guys, and I know it was only in high school, but I won an award for being the most spirited guy on the team. If I saw a guy slapping when we were winning, laughing like that, I'm kicking you nuts. I'm looking at your face. What the hell are you talking about? N64 right now. We're getting our doors blown off. These guys are high-fiving and, hey, yucking it up. You're down 24-0 with no pride. You're smiling about knocking the ball down. Give me a break. I see them dapping DJ Davison, Jihad Ward smiling over there.
Raheem Nunez-Roach has danced after he got a tackle for loss. What are you on, bro?
Like, that tells me the coaching, you're not listening to them. You have tuned him out. And you know what? It's because of Club Med, man. I heard the practices were like, guess what? Tackling's still a problem. How do you let Noah Fant tiptoe down the sideline like that guy's Gale fucking Sayers? Okay? Gale Sayers, that guy. That's Noah Fant. I know he's good, but that guy there was 3 tackles missed on that play. 3. And that was Drew Lock, the backup quarterback in the game. On 3rd and 5, you give up that fucking play. Actually, I think it was 3rd and long.
It was 3rd and like 10 or something like that.
3rd and 10.
And you give up that play down the sideline, which was a back-breaking play in the game. That's when I knew the game was over. That's when I knew it was over. I said, this team has no heart. Daniel can't bring us back from a game. This ain't Arizona. This is an actual real team fighting to get to the playoffs. Hell, at this point, they're the best defense in the league right now, they look like. And they had they lost their starting defensive safety. They had half their defensive backfield was out, right? And this team still dominated us.
Unbelievable. Another unbelievable performance, man. I don't know anymore. Like, I can't even defend this team, man. As much as I want to, I can't defend performances like this, man. I just can't. Two good quarters of football through 4 games. The first 4 games of the season, we've gotten 2 good quarters of New York Giant football, and 14 absolutely terrible ones.
You know what's going to be embarrassing?
Absolutely terrible.
Is when I go drop my kid off tomorrow amongst all the Eagle dads that are out there, right, who talk to me every day about the team, and we chit-chat and yuck it up about football, and they go, oh, blah, 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 this, that, and the other thing. I won't be able to show my face or say a damn word. They're going to look at me and say, sorry, bro, sorry about your team stinking. And then what am I going to say? Well, here we go, we're the New York Giants. There's no pride. Like, I'm saying this is John Mara's fault, okay? I blame John effing Mara. You know why? Because he let this regime keep this guy. When you bring in a new regime, you have to cut bait with everybody. You need to let them put their stamp on it. You can't give them old players who have old habits, who have know nothing but losing. Their culture is nothing but losing. So this is par for the course. This is par for the course.
We need to do what Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions did. Dan Campbell, when the new regime came in, said, Matt, we love you, but bye. They brought in Jared Goff, another veteran quarterback, to take the reins for a few years. They completely fixed the offensive line, which is now probably the second best O-line unit in the NFL. They fixed the receiving core. Their defense is pretty damn good. They got Aiden Hutchinson, one of the best edge rushers in the league. Brian Branch is promising. They fixed that team. They are the best team in the NFC North because they fixed what needed to be fixed, the front 7 and the offensive line. It's that simple.
And why is DJ still in the game in a blowout at some point? At some point, take the guy out of the game. I understand you have him $140 million, but God forbid he gets injured like you did with Adoree Jackson, and that's your solution to punt returning. I told people in the preseason, I'm like, oh, you need to keep Jameson Crowder and get rid of Sterling Shepard, who does fucking nothing, catches one pass a game. We got nobody back there. Nobody believes in our fucking return man. Our return man, Eric Gray, can't catch a pass for his life, gets benched. Who we get? We get fair catch fucking Jackson, who does't do anything either. Well, he's a punt returner. So you're going to put your best corner out there against this, right? My God, this is what I'm saying. If I want to believe this team is really going to go in the right direction, if this team ends up 1-5, possibly 1-6, because I'm not even counting the Commanders as a win anymore now either.
Oh,
now
they're
we're
going to
fucking vaunted front four, right? I can't do that. If this team is 1-5, 1-6, start the fire sale, rebuild it. Go to John Mara, kick the door in, and say, "Listen, you want me to rebuild this team? Let me do my fucking job. Let me get rid of the quarterback. Let me put pieces in place that are going to work out."
I mean, yeah. Like I said, I don't see where the next win is coming from. I just honestly don't. Not based off of what I'm seeing from this team. I just can't. I can't look down the schedule right now and think we're better than anybody else on our schedule right
You really
now.
believe we
Currently
can
up
beat
on the
Miami?
schedule.
Like if Miami goes up 21-0,
I do not. I do not believe that we even have a chance against Miami based off of what I saw tonight and what I've seen this whole entire season. We don't have a chance against the Miami Dolphins. We don't have a chance against the Buffalo Bills based off of what this team is doing and how they're playing. It's just no way. We have no desire to tackle people. We have no desire to block people. Our quarterback is just going to make those random brain farts every so often. When he's not running for his life, he's making some kind of massive mistake, some kind of bad, poor read. Look, I just can't anymore.
when Zach Wilson outplays you,
that's terrible. We're not running the ball well. It's just a lot, man. It's a lot with this team right now. It's everything that can be wrong with this team is wrong with this team right now. Coaching is just piss poor. I just can't stand behind it because I feel like at some point you got to put your guys in some kind of position to be at least a little bit successful. We're not figuring out ways to do that. That's part of what the coaches are supposed to do, and they're not getting that done either. It's just a lot with this team,
sucks.
man. It's just bad. It's bad from the top all the way down, man.
I'm looking at our schedule. I mean, like we're lucky if we win against the Raiders and the Patriots at this point.
Let me give it to you straight. Pause. Dolphins lost, Bills lost, Commanders lost, Jets lost, Raiders I have us winning, Cowboys lost. We're gonna split with the Commanders. We're gonna beat the Patriots. Packers lost, Saints lost, Eagles lost, Rams lost, Eagles lost. 4-12. Sorry, 4-13.
You know, if that happens and we end up top 10, you got to take a quarterback. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh, absolutely. If you're in the top 5, top 7, it always has to do with your quarterback. I don't.
Right, and don't trade out. Don't be like, "Oh, we believe in Daniel." No, pick your guy.
No.
There's no more belief. There's no more belief.
Quarterbacks coming out.
Hey,
there's a lot to choose from.
I think my island's getting bigger. I think more people are inhabiting my island over here. The island that I've been banging. Not that I'm trying to pat myself in the back here. I'm just saying. You know, people called me haters for trying to point out some slight faults with this guy. And I told some Eagle fan told me the same thing I've been telling you guys. They said we should have franchised Daniel and said, prove it. Prove it to me. Prove it that you're good and you would have got your money, right? And then here he is.
Who knows, Adam? If Sam Hoytman keeps on playing the way he's playing, you might get your guy.
Don't talk to me about Sam Hartman. I don't want to put this. I don't want to put him in this team. Hurt his ego.
I don't think Sam Hartman would do much of any. I don't know that he. I don't know if he's gonna be a starter.
I like JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy.
Listen, man,
there's a lot of them. But,
look, there's a ton of quarterbacks out there, and we're gonna have one in here next year. With all due respect to Daniel Jones, he's done here in my eyes. You can't get rid of him now because the cap hit. Next year, you're gonna draft somebody if you're in the top 5. You know, I don't care if the Bears are there. I don't care who the fuck it is. You're going to draft somebody in there. You've got to. You get your guy in here. You saved your ass. Because guess what? If Daniel – because we're playing the AFC North next year, okay? That's the team that's coming in. next year, and we still play the Cowboys. So there's going to be good defenses all around playing next year, and you can't have nobody behind this guy if Daboll stinks, because guess what? Then you will get fired. In year 3, you will get fired. However, to save your ass, what you do is you draft a quarterback, say, hey, we got our guy in here now. We need to see how it is when we put this together, right? You never keep another regime's players. That's what you don't do. That's how a recipe for disaster. You don't rebuild and compete. You either rebuild or you compete. You don't do both. The problem is the Giants have been doing both for the last 5 years. Dave Gettleman said the same fucking thing. Jerry Reese said the same damn thing, and now Joe Shane said the damn thing. You know who needs to go? John Mara. You need to get away from everything. Get away. It stinks like you. This is your fault we have this guy still here. It's your fault we have these players still here. You need to let this guy do his job and have a fire sale. Because right now, Leonard Williams has done nothing. He's done nothing since getting his contract. Okay? Ashawn Robinson, I don't even know if that guy's on the field half the time. Boogie Basham, who I heard was supposed to be good, doesn't sniff the quarterback for shit. Okay, you made a trade to get rid of that guy. Isaiah Simmons, the only play Isaiah Simmons made was to land on Geno Smith's feet. That's it. We don't have a turnover. You know how many turnovers?
4 games.
You know how many turnovers he gave up?
No turnovers.
Fucking 3 turnovers. 3 of them by the quarterback.
I mean, Mac has a point, and he's talking about, and this is like going to be my final thoughts because I actually got to record a show after this. Is like he's talking about we don't know where the next win is coming from. Well, guess what? The team doesn't know where the next win is coming from. That's the funny part. And you know what? And I don't want to put this in the air because it's going to make us go through that whole cycle again. I mean, at what point do the players at what point does Daboll start losing the locker room?
Yeah, I think he's already lost it.
I don't want to. That's it's if your team's, and I know they won't compete in the next 2 weeks. I think we all know that, man. But you just gotta salvage the situation as much as possible. I'm not trying to be positive, this positive Joe over here, but this team sucks, and I don't want to go through this recycled 2-year crap, but a lot of these guys need to go.
Daboll's going to get a chance to get his quarterback before he gets fired. That's what he's going to do. They're going to give him that chance and say, look, and I wouldn't be surprised if Daboll goes into Joe Shane and said, listen, man, this guy doesn't listen to me. He's throwing fucking plays all over the place. Like, we got to do something. Like, you need a jolt. You need a jolt of energy in this team. They have no jolt. That's partly on the coaching. This is why I say he might have lost the locker room early because you win and it's kumbaya and rainbows and all this shit. I said this will be the true test of Brian Daboll's when he meets adversity. Right now you have adversity and a lot of it. Your defense can't stop a nosebleed. Your quarterback can't find a receiver even if he's paid to do it. Okay, your offensive line is a sieve. All right, your special teams is crap. All right, the best player on the team is fucking Graham Gano.
No, it's Jamie Gillen.
Jamie Gillen. At this point, jeebus. He's getting plenty of work.
Yeah.
But why we draft Jalen Hyatt? I'm curious. What's the purpose of drafting Jalen Hyatt?
Well, we got Paris Campbell, guys.
Utilize this kid's skill set. I mean, you can just take some deep shots to him. Maybe at worst case, he can draw some penalties or something down the field.
Well, your quarterback needs to take those shots when they're there, regardless of what the play is. You can't be checked down, Charlie. This guy at one point saw the rush coming and was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna fold. I'm just gonna fold." He might be a shot fighter, fellas. I'm sorry. You know how that shot fighter, when they get too many punches to the head, and they're not seeing anything. He's seeing ghosts out there sometimes, and I don't blame him.
That's exactly what it is.
Just gonna say one more thing to this guy in the chat here, Daryl Brown, because he really he's really on this Daniel
5
Jones.
years, Brown. Come on,
keep this guy here. Look, maybe Daniel Jones does have a future in the NFL, but it's not with the New York Giants. It's not with the New York Giants. He may have a future. He may be able to go somewhere and maybe a la Geno Smith, man, revitalize his career somewhere else, man. It's not going to happen here in New York.
You need to listen to the game, too.
It's just not going to happen here.
The announcers will tell you. Troy Aikman was like, yo, you can't miss that blitz coming off the side of the thing. The blitz is coming. That Darren Witherspoon's coming off the blitz, literally unblocked. And he doesn't even like, hey, shift over there. Or, hey, look over there. Or hot route. We even see that in the Wedding Crashers, hot route. And the guy goes, what does that mean? It's hot route. You know what I mean?
Bro, I said it on Twitter. I still do believe Daniel Jones legitimately could be a solid quarterback with a winning team that has the right.
Go to San Francisco.
That has the right people around him. Say San Francisco, Detroit, Green Bay, even Washington right now looks like he'd be pretty decent with them. But it's not with the Giants. Just accept it. It's over. We destroyed this guy's future. It's done.
Yeah, it's never going to be right here for him. I just can't envision it ever getting right here in New York with Daniel Jones. Unfortunately, it's a lost cause now at this point.
Yeah, Detroit is one of the best teams in football right now. No Mets, no Jets.
That's why it looked like. This is why I tell people, when you look at the tape and then you go read the film, these are things he's still doing 5 years into the NFL, still fumbling the ball. Okay, you run into your lineman and then you're like, oh, let me just keep running the ball loosely out here. Come on, man. Then there's times where he's not throwing the ball away till the last second. Do you realize that man sacked himself today? One of those sacks was on Daniel Jones because he ran out of bounds a yard behind the line of scrimmage. How do you sack your fucking self? That is what I'm talking about. That all you do is throw the ball away.
Another play, yeah. Just all you had to do was just throw the ball over the line of scrimmage out of bounds. That's all you had to do.
All game, you're getting tackled. The guy's on you, almost trying to knock the ball out, and you like flip it over your head, like, oh, I'm out of bounds. One of those days it's going to be an intentional grounding. But how do you sack yourself? That's when I knew it was bad. Drake May, I'll be the first one to line up the Brinks truck for that kid, man.
Michael Penix
Jr. I don't care. Anybody not named Daniel Jones, man. I'm done with this guy. I've been done with this guy. I'm sorry that you guys had to witness this tonight to understand that you may have to be done with this guy. And even though he's not part of the problem, he damn sure isn't the solution.
Mm-hmm. Right. But I'm gonna get out of here because I do have some stuff to take care of. But it's always nice chopping up with y'all. I wish it was a better occasion, but it is what it is. This team effing sucks. So,
yeah.
Losing football for the next, let's see, we got 4 games underway right now. 13 games.
Listen, we're talking about the draft by the end of October. That's the sad part.
Why not start now?
Oh, we're starting. Trust me, I've been scouting. Since Daniel Jones got paid.
Look, ain't no Rick Simmons, man. No one's putting it all. You might have just tuned in. We haven't put it all on Daniel Jones. We put it on this whole damn team.
He put it on.
But at the end of the day,
sorry.
But at the end of the day, the quarterback play was bad tonight. Probably his worst performance of the season, honestly, and it was bad overall. The errors he made tonight were mostly on him. There's nobody else to blame but himself. A lot of interceptions he's thrown this season. Yeah, he's had like 3 of them bounce off his receiver's hands. Okay, yeah, that's not necessarily on him. But tonight, both interceptions were definitely on him. Both of them were bad balls. I mean, the one, he was under a lot of pressure, okay, but still at the end of the day, you can't just throw the ball all willy-nilly down the middle of the field. And the pick six was 1,000% on him. 1,000% on him, and there's nothing you can say about it, man. The offensive line is terrible. We've gone over it. We've talked about it. We've discussed it. The O-line is absolutely terrible. This whole offense is terrible. The receivers, they're not making plays, but then again, they're not getting that many opportunities to make plays. So everything just stinks with this team right now. We're not all putting it on just Daniel Jones, but at the end of the day, when you're the quarterback and you're the highest paid guy on the team, look,
you got to play like it.
Two quick things.
Absolutely.
No Mets, no Nets, no Jets. I'm not saying that Daniel Jones is going to go to Washington or Detroit. I'm saying if he was in a situation like that, he'd be doing a lot better. And real quick, Matt, can you share my screen real quick? Because we got an announcement from Coach Dable. Brian Dable says there won't be any staff changes or significant personnel changes.
That's a quick decision right there, but it is what it is.
He didn't even say, give me a second to think about it. I told you, he doesn't have the gravitas to do that. He's not going to, first off, he's not going to do it because of last year, Joe Judge firing Mark Colombo, having fights in the fucking meeting rooms and all that shit. They're not going to do it. That's not what they want. They don't want a blemish like that. Trust me, in-house, they've got to keep it close to the vest. Now, I do believe Wink Martindale will be fired next year because he was a reason why he was kicked
That's a troll, bro.
It's a troll.
Hey, yo, bro, I need whatever you smoking, bro. I need whatever you smoking. Because I'm not saying what Giant team you've been looking at all season, but the one I've been looking at has no chance against the Dolphins or the Bills. No chance at all, bro.
I don't believe they have the heart to do it. Right now, there's no answers. See, when your best players are not playing well, you have nowhere to turn. You don't know the players who look up to you, the players like the Darius Slaytons of the world and Isaiah Hodgins, those guys looking inward, who, by the way, I know are playing politics right now. I don't believe a word that comes out of their mouth. They don't believe in you. And when the defense doesn't believe in you, they break at the end of the game. They don't believe. Why do you think these teams like Miami and Buffalo, their defense play their hearts out? Because they know their quarterback is going to get them down the field. Even when Daniel Jones flutters a ball to Matt Breida, you don't think that you're going to go. This is what you're talking about. Big-time guys make plays. They might have a bad game, like Patrick Mahomes. I know people want to compare him to Patrick Mahomes, but you see what a top guy does. Even when the shit is hitting the fan, he finds a way to get it done. At the end of the day, it wasn't a great game by Kansas City. The Jets were all over the field on that team. They let a team like the Jets come back and keep that game good, and they still found a way to. The refs also helped, but they still found a way to win the game. Justin Herbert throws for 400 yards and no interceptions. Yet I hear every week how overrated that motherfucker is. Okay, that's all I hear. Yet when we have a problem, we want to blame. Oh well, it's just the offensive line. No, you got to take individual plays too. And it starts with the guy who gets paid. He's the face of the franchise. When you pay a guy that much money, he's your face of the franchise. He's got to be your best player. He's got to pay the best, no matter what the occasion is. And yes, he takes all the blame when we give him all the credit. I had people sitting there praising and throwing shade towards people who hated Daniel Jones. Don't criticize him. He came back 250 yards in the second half of the Arizona game, and yet here we are. 3 games later, 3 big defenses later, and the best team we could have beaten was Seattle. This is a 50-50 game. This is a game you go into, you don't even matter. You're supposed to be the best player on the field there. You're supposed to outplay Geno Smith. You've got outplayed by Josh Dobbs. You got outplayed by Geno Smith. You got outplayed by Dak Prescott. You got outplayed by a guy who plays in the same building as you.
He didn't get outplayed by Josh Dobbs. I'm sorry. Just based off second half.
Not Josh Dobbs.
But
not Josh Dobbs.
But still, at the end of the day, I get your point at the end of the day, though.
My point is that you need to be better than that. And he got outplayed by Josh Dobbs in the first half. It was the second half of a Herculean effort that he played on. And you can't have that every week. You can't win like that in the NFL. You just can't do it. You've got to come up and make plays. And the fact that you have 3 of the 4 turnovers on you, and all 3 turnovers led to points, that's bad play. That is bad play. That is his. I laughed at. I was on the phone with somebody. I laughed because ESPN has projections about players, right? And we were reading a couple quarterbacks and what their projections were, and it had Daniel Jones 3,100 yards, and it had 27 interceptions and like 10 touchdowns or some shit. And I'm laughing. But at this rate, he's going. Oh, and by the way, I have one thing to say to all those Daniel Jones lovers last year, who are throwing things in my face about EPA, efficiency per pass attempt, how many interceptions he had, leading the league. The guy has 6 now, okay? This is what he does. We said, he can beat the Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, but the Minnesota Vikings weren't a good team, and that was proven. They met a good team, and guess what? Guess who folded like a cheap lawn chair when there were plays to be made?
Well, look, I was at work earlier this morning talking to a coworker. And he's a Dallas Cowboys fan, but that's had nothing really to do with it. But we were talking about Wink Martindale. Gosh, and he said something to me that was kind of valid. I think might be valid. Wink is kind of like a dinosaur when it comes to this thing, kind of in a sense. Like, do you think maybe he just doesn't really have any that ability to evolve, and the whole league just understands what he's trying to do defensively, and it makes it kind of easier to execute against the New York Giants?
Yes. That's why he was fired in Baltimore. He was fired in Baltimore. They tried to play it with injuries, but his act got stale. You can't blitz every play, right? And now he can't even blitz every play, and his defense can't hold up. So it's either he lives by the blitz or dies by the blitz. Right now, every defensive coordinator that's come in has never played their actual defense. They've always played a zone. James Betcher was a blitzer. in Arizona. Comes in and plays all zone. Patrick Graham had blitzer. He was like, I got to strap back and has all these people go down the field. This game, right? We can't live and die by the blitz. He blitzed 43% of the time. Guess what he did this week? Not that. And you have an O-line that is bad. You should be bringing everybody. You should bring everybody. I don't care if they played one safety back there to cover 3 guys. You need to do something. Bring everybody. How come on one side of the football it's a jailbreak screen every time the quarterback drops back, and how come on the other side of the football with guys who are on their practice squad and bench they can't sniff a sack?
Sad.
Sad. Really is. But I'm gonna head off for the night, guys. Talk to you later.
Thanks for Alex for coming through, man. Make sure y'all sub up to Alex, man. Big balloon in the Bronx.
Great job. I'm just so furious because why I'm furious is because all the expectations that we had are out the window. Okay, all the shit that we said are out the window. All the shit that people gave other people for having and being real with certain aspects of the game. All I got was shit for it. Shit. And now here we are 4 weeks in, and it's proving to be right. I got a text from Chris Bucco, and he goes, "Don't worry, man. We're good. We still got our, we're still on the same page." Why? Because everybody thinks I'm crazy. But here I am telling you exactly what's happening, and it's unfolding. And it's unfolding. You may not want to listen to me. Fine. I don't care. But what we need right now is Brian Daboll to step up. What he just said on the podium is not stepping up. What I needed Brian Daboll to say was, we need to reevaluate everything. I'm going to have those questions internally. Not, hey, we're not going to make any changes right now. Guess what? It's going to be too late. What are you going to do when you're 1-5? Make a change? Like, oh, you know what? We're 1-5 now. No, at 1-5, you need to have a fire sale. If they lose the next 2 games, when they lose the next 2 games, okay, and they go up against the Commanders, who probably might be 3-3 at this point, right? They play fucking Chicago on Thursday. We hope I believe Washington's going to beat that game. I could be wrong, but Washington wins that game. They lose to Dallas the next week. They're 3-3. They come and play. I don't know who they play after that, but then they come and play us. They're probably 3-4, looking to go 4-4 against us. Meanwhile, we're going to be 1-5. We're last in the division with no end in sight. We are supposed to be better than this team. We are looking up at both Eagles, who are 4-0, Cowboys 3-1, and oh, by the way, the Commanders, who gave everything the Eagles could handle at 2-2. I don't know how I'm going to sleep tonight. I already have heartburn, and it's only going to give me more. And I can't wait to listen to what positivity people come out of this game. This game something needs to happen. Daboll, I don't believe, is that coach, though. I mean, he is the coach. I'm not throwing him out. I'm not saying he's not that coach. What I'm saying is he doesn't have the gravitas to do with, like, hey, let me fire this guy in the middle of the season. Because guess what? There's no coach right now who's going to come in and help the offensive line. Nobody's coming in here. Nobody's coming in from another team. No high school coach is coming in. You got to redo it. And guess what? If we do fire these offensive line coach and the D coordinator and possibly fucking Kafka too, because he stinks at this point, and we have to bring in a new coaching staff, guess what that means? We're probably going to be losing next year too as we get acclimated to all these new systems in place. All right? So just think about that. If you're going to strip it down, now's your time. If you have a top 5 pick, don't trade out and say, oh, we're going to keep Daniel Jones. Keep Daniel Jones. Say, look, Daniel, we like you. You're a nice guy. You're a hard worker. That's the best quality I ever hear about Daniel Jones is how hard he works. Guess what? Guess what he did today? He looked at the tablet and nothing was working for that motherfucker. I'm like, why even bother looking at the tablet? Why even bother looking at the tablet? Hell, even Brian Daboll's looking at the tablet with him like, what are you doing? I've never seen Brian Daboll get animated. As a matter of fact, I've never seen any coach get animated with Daniel Jones. You know he's pissed when he's walking over to Daniel, and Daniel's goofy ass is not even looking at him, can't even look him in the eye as he's getting reamed out.
Daniel Jones looks like Woody from Toy Story, bro. I'm sorry.
More like Forrest from Forrest Gump.
That's what bothers me. Remember the second half of the Arizona game when he was on that comeback? How emotional, the emotion Daniel you could see in Daniel Jones, like how fired up he was. Even situations like this, you got to still have that same fire in your belly, man. You got to get over there with your offensive line. You got to grab them by the damn face mask and say, I need you guys to do your job. You give me a little more time, and I can get this done. You believe in me, and I can believe in you. But they're not. It's none of that. He just goes over to that sideline. He just goes. He just goes to the sideline and just puts his head down. Like you shouldn't be sitting on the end of the bench by yourself, dude. Like you should be over there. It's a mentality. It's a mindset. This team lacks that. It's crazy.
On his helmet by now, he would have broken the damn iPad. He would have been so angry. Because why? Because that's what leaders do. They tell you how frustrated they are. They show you how frustrated they are. If you're not going to be the cerebral assassin that Eli Manning was, where shit hits the fan and you still make plays and get your team out of a hole, you got to show something else. And right now, you're showing me that you're a $140 million loser. That's what you're showing me. Because I don't care if you work hard. I don't care that you keep your composure. Show me the emotion I need to see. Not when you're winning, but show it right now. Throw somebody under the bus. Throw your fucking helmet. Get angry. You know what? Phil Simms used to yell back at fucking Bill Parcells. They used to have it out on the sideline. Your coach is yelling at you. Yell back at him. Say, man, I'm fucking trying out there, but your fucking booty ass O-line can't block for shit.
Yeah,
oh man, another season, same shit.
Rinse and repeat.
Well, I'm just tired of letting this team pull the wool over my eyes. I'm just tired. Like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice.
Not me.
It's definitely shame on me. I've been getting fooled for 10 years by this damn team. Like, come on, man, give me a break already. Like, give me a break already, man. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow morning and I'm gonna still love these guys. I am. I can't. I mean, that's just what it is. That's the life I chose to live.
I was wearing Giant gear all day.
Get it together. Like, give us something to make me want to spend my money to go see you guys. Because right now,
10-cent soda's not
I don't want to. I don't want to waste. I don't want to waste money on the New York Giants right now. At this point, I can't be one of those fans in the stand that just spent $300-$400 on a damn ticket to watch that product on the field. I can't do it. And then watch them come out, interviews all week long, microphones in their face, and they're saying all this. It's not. I don't think it has anything to do with the bad tackling. I don't think tackling has anything to do with it. That's not a problem. What? Are you serious?
On national TV.
These are the kind of answers we getting?
Yeah, but there's no response by the players. I get people laughing and yucking it up on the sideline when you're down 24-3. Like, you're yucking it up? Like, what is that kind of culture to me? We talk about the culture and everything like that. I need to see somebody get angry. You can't be happy and satisfied with your performance. John Ward's over there sitting there tapping DJ Davis and, hey, good job, buddy. Good job, brother. All I hear is like that play. Voice.
That play with Cam Brown when he just went over there for no reason and just like whatever knocked their punt returner down, whatever, for no reason. You could have easily just got a 15-yarder for that. Easily. But you're on the sideline like a minute later, like laughing and smiling like you did something good, like, yeah, I just went and hit a guy for no reason, and they could have gave him a penalty for that. And I was surprised they didn't. I was actually surprised they didn't because it was so unnecessary. It was Bush League.
And the thing is this. You want to play down to your class, but you're not even playing up to anybody. You have no fire or desire. Like Kayvon Thibodeau, I love that he had a good game today, but I need more dog out of you, man. I need you to be the leader to rally this team. Bobby Okereke, one play you look great, the next play you're getting stiff-armed by the fucking tight end.
Thanks for coming into the stream too, Devin, man. I appreciate you, man. Make sure you hit that like button and sub up if you haven't already, bro. I appreciate you, man. But yeah, guys.
Brown's coming back down to earth. I think he was just messing around.
Let's get some final thoughts go around. I can get some final thoughts out, man. Because I got to get ready to wrap this up because I do got to go to work in the morning and make my little shekels, my little peanuts compared to what these guys are making for not doing their job. So I got to get up and actually go to work and do my job for my little bit of money that I make. So go around the board, you gotta get whatever final thoughts you want to get off your chest real quick. Go for it.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for having us on, Mac. It's always a pleasure. Wish it would have been with a win, but it is what it is. We're still gonna support this team. It is tough, but at the end of the day, hopefully we can figure something out. And I'm gonna watch a lot of college ball because we seem to be heading in that direction. But it's too early to talk the draft. But at this rate, I mean, like, we can't block to save a life. So, yeah, thank you for having me on, though. Let's get it up to everybody here.
Daniel, you might have a future in the NFL, but it certainly isn't with us. Thanks for having me on, Mac. I appreciate it.
My final thought is Daniel Jones is a skid mark. Okay, he is not what we advertised. It's fool's gold, and I'm tired of people calling people out on it. This team stinks. Pull the trigger, rebuild. If this team ends up being 1-5, 1-6, the 4 games, rebuild. Take the pill, swallow that pill. Say, hey, look, we're gonna make the necessary changes needed. We're gonna keep you on because we paid you this much. Hell, trade him if you want. I figure out with the cap situation, but this needs to go. But anyways, guys, thanks for having me on. And Mac, I'll see you on Wednesday.
Yeah, no doubt indeed, man, Adam. But look, as frustrated as I am with Daniel Jones as well, because like I said, his performance was absolutely horrendous tonight too. This offensive line, maybe it's just the offensive lineman in me. I take personal pride in offensive line play, and what I'm seeing right now is absolutely pathetic. It all needs to be torn down. Daniel Jones, as far as I'm concerned, he needs to go get a change of scenery somewhere. But this offensive line, it's not going to matter who we bring in here at quarterback behind an O-line like this. It has to be fixed or mended in some kind of way, because what I saw tonight was an absolute jailbreak, and I've never seen anything like it before, other than not in real life. Like I said, only on the movie, only on Any Given Sunday, on that one scene on Any Given Sunday. That's the only time I've seen anything like this O-line tonight. 11 sacks to the Seattle Seahawks defense. 11 sacks. He didn't give up 11 sacks to the Cowboy defense or the 49er defense, but 11 to the Seattle Seahawks defense. Give me a break. Seattle Seahawks defense is probably not even anybody's fantasy roster tonight. They're sitting on somebody's fantasy bench probably with all these damn points that they racked up, and somebody is pissed off right now because they should have played the Seattle Seahawks defense and they didn't. That's how real it is tonight about the Seattle Seahawks. This is an okay defense. It's not the defense. It's not this great defense that should have done what they did tonight to this New York Giant team. That's a lack of pride, and that's a lack of effort, New York Giants. You got to do better. You got to do better. This is not 18 sacks in 2 home games. That's what you're giving your home fans? 18 sacks in 2 home games? 64-3 you've been outscored at home in 2 games at home this season. 64-3. And that's what people are buying tickets for? Hell, that's what people are paying to park in that parking lot for?
Come on, man. There soon.
Come on, man. You got to do better. But, guys, thank you all for coming out here tonight, man. I know it's another late night, and I'm tired of losing sleep over this team, man.
That Buffalo game.
I don't think it's getting flexed, bro. It's kind of early. Unless they can flex it. Can they flex it that early in the season?
Yes, they can flex it. I think it has an asterisk. I think they can flex it. I'm praying they flex it to 1 o'clock to get the massacre over with.
Yeah, I'd appreciate it. I don't want to stay up late for that one. But guys, thanks for coming, hanging out with me again. Once again, everybody in the chat, appreciate y'all. If y'all new to the channel, please hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate subscribe for everybody up here. Everybody's links is in the chat right now. So, you know what I mean? Please go ahead and support all our channels. Really appreciate y'all for coming on, man. And I'll be talking to y'all, man. Once again, it's Mac the Giants fan, man.
Peace.
Peace. I'd like to thank you all for listening. If you was feeling this, please take time to subscribe and smack them likes. Feel free to drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to ring that bell so you know when I'm dropping new content. It's your boy, Mac the Giants fan. You can find me on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at Mac the Giants fan. That's MACDA Giants fan.